his heavyweight championship. So,
All right.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, that sounds cool.
yeah, I want to explore the vanity and violence of masculinity. It's a good topic for the kids.
The kids will love it.
That one will be. Yeah, that's for the kids. It's rated R. Heavyweight championship.
Oh, there we are. Okay, we're live on YouTube. There we are. All
That's
right.
cool. I like
All right, I
that.
just drank water on YouTube.
Look at you.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
A ton of
Yeah,
firsts.
I want to explore the vanity and violence of masculinity.
All right, let's see if we can go to
It's a good topic for the kids.
main page. The kids will love it.
That one will be. Yeah,
Are
that's
we
for
live?
the kids.
Because
It's rated R.
We are. Oh, there we are. Okay, we're live on YouTube. There we are. Yeah, there's a
Cool. I
delay
like
when,
that.
if you're watching it on
Water
YouTube. Look at you.
yeah, that sounds cool.
A ton of
Yeah,
firsts.
I want to explore the vanity and violence of masculinity.
All right, let's see if we can go to.
It's a good topic.
I'm just gonna bring up YouTube Live on my phone so that it doesn't act all weird on my computer. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Where's OBS? If anyone's watching, feel free to chime in the chat. We are getting a few more things set up, but this is the first stream for Bratt's Spin. Jared, if you wanna vamp while I figure this out.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is our first, as Carl said, our first Brat Spin Reviews live stream. Hopefully first of many, I'm sure. We do edited content mainly, but we want to start dipping into doing live streams, and it's just a bit more personable. And, not every movie needs to be edited into some huge type of video, so this is cool. I'm Jared Bratt, host and filmmaker. I've been saying that a lot on these episodes. Joined with me tonight, as always, Carl Diamond, interviewer, reviewer, host, filmmaker, host of the Hey You Made Your Movie show. And joining us, always, Robert Mitchell, filmmaker, host, reviewer, interviewer. And we are all here in the flesh, obviously. So, pretty cool. I'm excited to talk about Double Dragon. Video game turned movie, 94, directed by James Courage. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I think that's his name.
Kevich.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to really diving into this, guys, because oh boy.
Oh boy, right? Even my wife said, "Oh boy," and she can put up with some
My wife
movies.
said that about Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
This makes Super Mario Brothers look like The Godfather.
I mean, we titled this movie is wacky, but wacky is an understatement, I have to say.
Wacky is
this
just something
movie-
you say to not scare him away.
Yeah.
I got my notes. Oh, he's got his game thingy. His
Nice.
retroid pocket thing.
Mission 1.
Yeah, that's like secret technology compared to one of the ads we're gonna see today.
Yeah, nice. Can you hear this at all? I'm beating up people right now as we speak.
Oh, I can hear it.
Wonderful.
Oh, that awesome 8-bit soundtrack.
8-bit. Oh yeah. Shout out to Daryl Shaw. He loves 8-bit soundtracks.
Oh yeah. Hopefully Daryl's watching.
Daryl's the mastermind. He brought the three of us together. So
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Daryl Shaw, filmmaker
Absolutely.
in his own right.
100%. Go Daryl.
Go, Daryl, go!
All right. In all seriousness, I'm putting it away now.
Do I have to take that away from you, Rob?
The time for games is over.
It's not just a game. Or that was
1994's Double Dragon. Here we are.
Yeah, for me, it's like, this is actually, from all the episodes we've done, this is actually the first movie that I haven't seen since I was a kid renting VHS tapes. So for me, it was pretty cool to just watch this after so long. because I had no idea what to really expect. I mean, I referenced this movie when we were talking about Super Mario Brothers, and I took a jab at it, saying it's not a movie that, that like even at the time when I was a kid, I thought this movie wasn't that great. And
Daryl's in the chat, by the way.
Nice.
Right
So he's
on.
watching. So compared to you said that even as a kid you said this movie wasn't great.
Right.
Has your opinion changed?
So I will say, broad strokes. The first 20 minutes of this movie, I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is so much cooler and more fun than I remembered. And I was thinking back to the comment I made about it on the other episode. I'm like, yeah, I was wrong. But then honestly, as this movie went along, I just like tapped out at a certain point. It just got really kind of annoying to me, and my fun meter started depleting as the movie went on. So ultimately, there's some things I had fun with, but yeah, a lot of issues with it for me mainly. That's where yeah. What about you guys?
So I don't think I ever saw this movie in full before. I think I had caught glimpses of it at my neighbor's house back in the, back when it came out. My neighbors probably rented it. And I watched it in multiple parts because the first time I watched it, I was somewhere in the middle of the desert on my phone in a cabin. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this and take notes, and I fell asleep. And so the second time I watched it was last night for this, and I sat down and I'm like, with my wife, and I had some popcorn and I had a coffee, and I'm like, we're gonna watch this. We have to do this for the stream. It's gonna be great. It's not gonna be bad. And it makes Super Mario Brothers look even better because it's just it's almost a good double feature with Super Mario Brothers 1993 because they've kind of taken the video game and done their own thing with it, whereas Super Mario Brothers they took the source material and turned it into a cyberpunk dystopian adventure. Double Dragon, they've kind of taken the source material and not changed it that much, but turned it into a kids movie instead of a like a hard, gritty it's not cyberpunk this time around, but a hard gritty dystopian fight action movie. It's this kind of like dystopian kids movie. It's like Blade Runner Jr. Or more like it's The Purge Jr.
It made me think of the like one of my main issues with this movie was that, to me, there's a lot of setup to things and ideas and action sequences that could be cool, but they just don't. They just all deflate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this felt to me like I was thinking of the Power Rangers movie, but it doesn't even reach that level. Like, that movie, at least they still have like some competent kind of family-friendly action scenes. And I find this movie just doesn't even deliver on that angle. Like, you think you're gonna see some kind of fun stuff, even if it is family-friendly, but it doesn't do that. Like, it just falls apart.
Mark Dacascos is trying his best. He's pretty good at fighting, but Scott Wolf is not.
Amazing.
Scott Wolf is like, why is Scott Wolf in this movie? But I will say, so things I did like that stood out to me that I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun, is all the future props, all like the fake commercials and like the Verhoeven RoboCop shit that they were putting was pretty cool. And was it The News with Vanna White and George Hamilton?
Yeah,
but what? Go ahead.
No, I put that in my notes. It's trying to do the RoboCop interludes of, satirical, like, fake news. But that's another thing. It doesn't even... I mean, it was kind of amusing to me, but Yeah,
It doesn't land. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't land.
the,
A lot of this movie just doesn't land for me.
what landed for me was the I should cue it up. We'll cue it later, but it was the Jack City commercial, and it's like the guy was like, you're having a party at your house, you having people over at the Super Bowl, and what happens next? Your house collapses. Oh, how embarrassing! But it's not your fault. It's everyone's fault because it's an earthquake, and so it's a fault.
One thing this film reminded me of was 1980s Italian post-apocalyptic movies like Bronx Warriors, 1999.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the look of the gangs. The films that were directed by Enzo Castarelli. So there, I don't know. It reminded me of that, and it was of course aiming. It was reaching for some Road Warrior type status as well with the Mohawk gangs.
Yeah.
It was
Also made me. Those Mohawk gangs also made me think of RoboCop 3, the Splatterpunks. When did RoboCop 3 come out, though? That was
93, 94. Let's look it up. Rob, can you look that up?
It's interesting to me that this is
93.
one.
It was the year before. It was also
Wow.
written. That one was written by Frank Miller.
Yeah. But it's interesting that this is after Super Mario. Because Super Mario was such a bomb.
Yeah, and this bomb too.
Yeah. Well, I remember I was aware that this movie came out in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw it advertised in a newspaper, but it didn't seem like it had like a wide release because for me, I remember the theaters were like really on the outskirts. It wasn't in like your popular like widely accessible theaters. So that's why when it came to video, I finally rented it. And it felt like something that didn't meet the standards of a big budget theatrical release.
As mentioned in Frank Miller and RoboCop 3, there's a comic book connection with this film because the story was credited by Paul Dini, who would go on to do Batman, the animated series, and co-created Harley Quinn, the character, with Bruce Timm. So he was credited with the story of the original story of this film. So who knows how many mutations this film went through the writing process and the studio process.
There's a great documentary. Hold on. Let me make sure my audio is good. There's a great mini doc by Matt McMuscles called the series of What Happened, and they did an entire bit on this movie. And
oh yeah,
yeah, go check it out afterward. It's wild. But some of the people who worked on this went on to go make Breaking Bad. So everyone's got one in them, one piece of shit in them,
It is funny because we've already obviously it's a movie that's about fighting and the two henchmen. One of them is Jeff Amata. So he did stunts and was stunt coordinator in films such as They Live, Big Trouble in Little China. He's still working. He's been in like huge giant productions. So I think it was the leads didn't really have that much martial arts experience. Scott Wolf was cast around the same time as Party of Five was going. At this point, I don't think he was a mega star of TV or anything yet because that was just starting. But he got cast for whatever looks or personality or whatever, and then
it's really a mystery.
So, yeah, the martial arts aspect of the leads is completely missing here. I mean, this film would have been dynamically way better if there was like people that were cast that could, throw some kicks.
Oh yeah. Hey, we got some people in the people viewing. Let's take a moment to answer a question from one of our people watching. Android Replica asks this question: who would you guys reboot Double Dragon with in 2025 cast and crew?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
I'll think about it. You guys,
we'll
definitely answer that tonight.
Well, I
don't know.
Let's think. Let's think about it. Let's just not jump onto it. Let's roll some trailers.
Okay.
Let's do some trailers. Trailers. Here we go. Alright. And you guys got your the playlist up on your end?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Cool. Alright. So that changes that. Let's see. Where is this? Direct. Alright, go ahead. Oh, we got to add. Alright, so the ad for the Nintendo Switch. Yay, Advanced Wars is great. Alright, let's see. Oh, can I skip it? There we go. Skip ad. No. Garbage. The ad skipping was working earlier, and now it's decided that it doesn't want to skip these ads. There we go. Okay, play. Alright, you guys get the Double Dragon 2 ad up. That's what's playing first. Let me know when you're ready.
Should be good.
Okay. Rob, you ready?
I think I'm just gonna have to wing it because I did this coming attractions and it went into a totally different video after that.
I was having that trouble all day. I don't know why. It allows you to make a playlist and you tell it what you want, and it's like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna play something else.
Yeah, because it went into some record collecting thing on my end, so I'll just follow your lead.
Okay, I'll just let you guys know what video is playing, and then just tell me what's playing in the background here.
For your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mine keeps going.
Alright.
The best action game ever from Wayne.
Okay, best action game. Let me know when you've watched that ad, and pause it after the best action game ever. Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. That is, if in that trailer, you people watching, you saw what Double Dragon the game looks like, and like, okay, that looks like kind of like a gritty brawler, beat 'em up. What would you expect the movie to be? Don't answer or say, just keep that in your head for when we show you the trailer for the Double Dragon movie. All right. Did you guys watch the first trailer?
Honestly, my watch party thing keeps switching to some random. I'm gonna try to just.
So okay, plan B. Get out of the watch party. Go to Bratt's bin. And I have an unlisted playlist there that has everything, and you can just click on it manually.
Oh, sweet.
But
see here. Unlisted?
Unlisted, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You see it?
Okay, yeah. So we're at the Double Dragon commercials.
No, what are you doing?
So what's the Double Dragon trailer? 94.
Yeah.
Double Dragon 3,
Cool.
the ultimate in NES martial arts action continues with all new weapons,
I'm clicking play.
characters, and street.
Cool.
Right.
Everything's going so well, and
Mercy
on my
Pictures
end, it's going nuts.
presents-
Yeah, there's some like cool like running away from explosion shots in this trailer that look like they're from a Rodriguez movie, which kind of led me to believe that there would be some cool action in this movie, and then again I just felt totally let down.
That trailer is both. I have the VHS trailer and I have the theatrical trailer up, and they are whatever that trailer was cut. Whoever cut that trailer is a genius, because he made the movie that we watched look like that, and it was insane. All right, let's see.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. This movie just feels like a bad canon movie. Like I was thinking of Cyborg with Van Damme, but I actually like Cyborg with Van Damme. I think that movie's a blast.
The Cyborg's great. It is. It
Yeah.
does kind of feel like a bad canon movie. You're right.
There's some beats in here that remind me of Super Mario Brothers 93, like the car chase. That's another thing that makes Mario Brothers look like a masterpiece. Is this movie tries to do a car chase and doesn't even do that.
I don't know what you'd call the call that. All right.
The best action game ever.
All right. We're getting some. So where are you guys in the trailer?
At T2's Robert Patrick
Oh, okay.
and Alyssa Milano, Double Dragon, Double the Fun.
Oh, did you guys
double the
watch everything in the watch list? I should I had it paused after the first Double Dragon ad for
Yeah, I just watched the Double Dragon trailer.
yeah,
I mean,
fun times. Okay, let's see. Let's go back and let's go back to the first NES trailer, and we'll talk about. We'll go through them one by one.
sure.
Thank you, audience, for being so patient. This is our first rodeo with streaming. And
Double Dragon commercials, Nintendo.
yeah, NES, Nintendo, yep. Hey, we still have 4 people watching. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Okay, and I'll let you guys know when you guys all queued up.
Yep.
Okay,
I am.
Rob.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and play.
2. The Revenge for your Nintendo Entertainment System. The best action game ever from Acclaim.
Did they have a Double Dragon cartoon?
They did. And we'll,
Because I-
we'll pause it there at the end, after the guy says best action game ever from Acclaim.
Yeah.
And so you should be on it. This commercial is presented by NES Times. And let's talk about what we just saw as far as, the best action game ever. It's pretty hype. What you guys think?
As far as it as a video game,
Yeah.
I mean, at the time it was, side-scrolling. It was a fun video game. You just went through the streets and beat the shit out of everybody. You got weapons and try to stay alive.
It's great. No, I was playing it last night before I watched the movie on my little thing, and it's like I don't think anyone today says the best action game ever. Like you don't hear that with Devil May Cry.
That is true. I mean, even like Red Dead, the Rockstar didn't go Red Dead 2.
The best
Best Western ever. Fuck all those other games.
Fuck the one we made before.
Yeah,
This
you know,
one's better.
No, the 90s were rad because people were like, you know what? Fuck your shit. This is the best fucking game ever. If you're not buying it, your parents suck and you should go and you get a job at the age of 14. Whatever, man.
$70 for a cartridge.
And now there's 800 games on this.
Yeah.
I turn it back on because why not?
Why not? I mean, I definitely played Double Dragon on arcade as well. I do have, pretty sure I did back in the day. Um, yeah, I do have memories of playing it on NES,
Uh,
but
What's he got there? What's he got there? What's he
there you
bringing
go.
down?
This is the best side-scrolling NES
Oh,
game of all time.
Isn't that technically? That's also double. That's like in the same universe, right?
Is it?
I think so.
And, to the citizens of River City, I hold your high school captive with my gangs of students and vicious bosses roaming the streets. Nobody can stop me now. Meet my demands or else. So,
Cool.
this
River
is one of
City
the
Ransom.
all-time greatest NES side-scrolling adventures ever. You would like fight your way through the streets like you would in Double Dragon. However, every bad guy would give up coins with one of the great coin sounds of all time in a video game. Then you would go into a town and you could buy sushi. You could buy books on how to use Kung Fu Fist. You would improve your powers that way. Then you went into the next thing. It was a park, and you kept fighting your way through it. Thank God nobody made this a movie. That's all I got to say.
well, I mean, that's the thing I was wondering was like, yeah, like I remember playing the Double Dragon game, but I don't recall was there even a mythology to that game? Because like, so the movie's just making shit up, right? Like they're making up their own lore and all that.
The games had
Yeah.
the first. I think there was a story in the games. I just watched this other guy. This one guy, Matt McMuscles, played through every single Double Dragon game, and it was like a 10-hour video. And I watched it all while doing dishes, and multiple nights. It doesn't take me 10 hours to do the dishes, but yeah, there is kind of a story, and it's not consistent, and it's not well maintained, and it's all over the place. So
Exactly like the movie.
yeah, exactly.
Describe the entire movie.
Let's watch another. Let's push play on that on YouTube. All right. Oh. On the YouTube video. Let's see on the Double Dragon commercials. Should be Double Dragon 3.
Martial arts action continues with all new weapons, characters, and street fighting moves against the world's most awesome villains. Double Dragon 3 from Acclaim. The action keeps coming.
The action keeps coming.
The action keeps coming.
Wow. The action keeps coming, then I'm in.
Speaking of Channel 69. Isn't that weird to see in a kids movie? Like the new one of the television channels was Channel 69. That was wild.
You know, that's actually something that also bugged me with this movie is that you have all these like tough, badass characters and cool costumes and like dystopian shit and like punks and all that, but like everybody is just so cartoony and like, whoa, I fell down. Like, again, it just nothing lands. So I was like, don't show me all these cool like badass things and then you don't deliver on those. You know, like. Give me something to work with.
Don't hype me up for this awesome adventure and then have everything be like vanilla, or like not even vanilla. Everything be kind of like neutered.
But Mark Dacascos, like he's a brilliant martial artist, and they couldn't even get that much out of him. So that's just bad direction.
Yeah, and I mean.
Like, remember, you guys seen Only the Strong or Drive? I think Drive is 97.
I haven't
Forget
seen,
when Only the...
I haven't seen anything with him besides this and John Wick 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, even John Wick 3, his moves are on display.
Mm-hmm.
And in Double Dragon, it's like, yeah, you get some like kicks and like jumps and all that. Like, they're really, you can tell that they're leaning all their action on him, but they don't even do that to its full extent, because they can get a lot more out of him, clearly, if you've seen any of his other movies.
Oh yeah.
And it's just kind of lame.
I love how crime is so bad in this movie, though. The cops have like, you know what, guys? Well, we're out in the daytime. As soon as 10 minutes before sunset, we're all packing it up and we're going to create our own siege movie. We're all going to be in our police station.
Yep.
The gangs can do whatever they want all night long, and we concede the night, but we'll run the day. Which in the gymnasium that they have that opening tournament, the two brothers are beating up that guy, the Team Red versus Team Lee. There's this giant banner behind them saying, obey the law and respect the curfew, which is funny because after the tournament, they're driving in the badass crazy station wagon well after curfew.
That's true. And speaking of that cool station wagon where everything is fuel, why is there so much trash in this movie if cars run on everything?
That's a good point.
It's like, wouldn't it be the cleanest city? There'd be like nothing there because everyone's driving around in these cars that burn trash. So
yeah, I do love the look of those cars though.
Oh, it's great. Like the props and the art direction is pretty fun. I think it's probably what holds up the most, and we'll show some clips. But let's keep going with this with this Double Dragon commercial. Go ahead and press play.
On the power of Double Dragon.
Oh, it's the cartoon.
In their Double Dragon cruiser, battle Shadow Master on his Shadow Ring. Fire! Right over, Shadow Master. Double Dragon. Figures and vehicles sold separately.
Pause. Oh, that. Okay. Gosh. And the Double Dragon toys look like the cartoon, which look nothing like anything else.
Did anybody have the Double Dragon action figures? I did not.
I did not.
No.
I was Ninja Turtles.
I think they were banking on, something as big as the Ninja Turtles. And then I saw, according to IMDb at least, that the budget was just under $8 million, and that worldwide gross was about $2.7 million.
Wow.
So.
Huh, 8 million. I would have actually thought it was more.
8 million got you a lot more back then.
Yeah.
It's true, yeah. It's funny because you mentioned the opening, and I was thinking, I wrote my first note is like, I can't tell if this is like intentionally feels cheap. Like specifically the opening when they're telling you the whole mythology of like these the people, the battles and all that, and it's like this tournament, and I'm like, it almost felt like a Grindhouse movie, but I'm like, is it supposed to feel like that, or is it just, cheap because it's cheaply made?
And Robert Patrick
that's
does not care.
It was definitely reminded me of those. There was a plethora of 1980s Italian post-apocalyptic movies that shot. They always shot around New York City, and I wrote these crazy, colorful gang members and everything.
Yeah, all it's missing was this beautiful woman coming out and looking around and with blue eyes, and and she's 80-yard.
I did like the little brief glimpses we saw of the future of like what would have been a payphone, but it was an oxygen.
That was great.
You get oxygen. I love the matte paintings. I love on the Andy Dick weather forecast where you see a map of what remains of LA, and there's an island, little Tokyo, and then of course most of Los Angeles is gone, and then they're going down the river, and you see the Hollywood sign, and the water's almost right up to it. So a lot of those post-apocalyptic glimpses we saw, I really dug a lot of that stuff.
Well, like I said, that's all that stuff. Like I swear, in the first 20 minutes, I was like, "Damn, this is a lot cooler and fun than more fun than I remember." And then, because I loved all that. Like, it was giving me Escape from New York vibes, and I wrote like New Angeles, 2007, after the quake. I'm in.
More like Escape from LA with the production quality.
Yeah, that too. I have. I thought maybe the henchman from Die Hard was in this movie.
He is. Al Leong is in this movie.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who reaches for the Twinkie one.
Mm-hmm.
He's also Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
He is, isn't he?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and of course he was in Big Trouble in Little China.
He's
with
done
Jeff
so
Amata.
much.
That's one thing I liked also is they were playing with the duality of things. You had the two henchmen that look somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick shows up. His suit's black and white. There's that whole weird Alyssa Milano thing where she is running the gang called Power Core, which is just a weird name for the gang. But then she goes home and she has this. She's a sister and a daughter, and then she puts on this wig to disguise herself. Because here's the caveat of the story. Spoiler alert: that when she goes home, her father is the chief of police of New Angeles.
Yeah, he has that great moment, which I really want to show. Where he's just like,
"Oh yeah,
damn Power Core." It's just like the actor does not give a damn. He's just like sitting at the table, watching the news. And he's just like, damn Power Core.
Well, how about his speech later on to all the cops about how they should get back out there? And he's just like standing in the office, looking out a window, and he's like,
"Yeah."
It's like his time to make that like crowd-rousing speech to get everybody. Again, making me think of RoboCop 3, how Shaft has to get all the cops back out because they're on strike or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was hilarious because it's just the acting, the editing, the delivery.
I'll say this: Robert Patrick has several great lines in this movie, and it has for me a laugh out loud line that he says when, of course, he's the bad guy. He's a little frustrated; things aren't going his way, and he shouts out, "I just want domination of one major American city. Is that too much to ask for?" That's a great line.
Yes, that's one of the more memorable lines he puts out there.
And then with the weird henchman of his, a Bobo, he transforms into something that for me was reminiscent of Tetsuo Shima in Akira, where he's this big road warrior dude, and then he morphs into this thing. Yeah.
He needs to get bigger and consume his girlfriend, and then,
Yeah. He's like, I consider you a son, a Bobo, and like a son, I can always have another. However, there's only one double dragon.
Only one double dragon.
Yeah.
I do actually find that whole thing disturbing, how he gets experimented on and turned into. I remember it took me back as a kid watching it, because I remember I was disturbed by it then, and I'm disturbed by it now. Or it, involuntarily being forced to be an experiment is a truly horrific thing, no matter the tone of the movie.
Yeah, because later on, there's all this weird, like, cyberpunk zombie action happening.
Oh yeah, with him like possessing other people.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yeah, when the zombies are coming back, that dude had so many lines. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
the black guy like the basketball player, and he gets up and he's just talking.
Yeah,
and he's talking to them. He's talking to them like he knows them, like they've met prior, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but I mean, that was Robert Patrick possessing him, but in the moment.
Okay, yeah.
In the moment, it was so awkward because, like, was there a deleted scene? What happened? I this guy knows too much. Oh man.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the trailers for a second, and let's just go through the trailers, and we'll then we can scrub through. I can scrub through the movie and find scenes to show you, we can talk about or to show the audience.
All right, because there is something that if you do that, then you could go to the. I have it. I recorded the timestamp.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Later on you could go do that.
Perfect. You can tell me where to go.
Yeah, it's this really weird thing that I saw.
Oh boy,
during the movie.
I'm excited now. All right, let's press play on Double Dragon commercial.
Yeah.
Dragon 2, The Revenge for your Nintendo Entertainment System. The blockbuster arcade hit. 2-player head-to-head action. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge.
The Revenge.
Hyundai versus the other
Now
guys.
it's a Hyundai commercial.
Look what Hyundai has. and what Honda, Nissan,
I'm never gonna buy a Hyundai.
Hyundai electrified vehicles.
Don't even try,
wins
YouTube.
Every time.
Beavis and Butthead, here we go. Now this gives you a second.
You must let it go.
1994
If you are
was
rooted in
like.
the cow, the force of the earth will support you.
Yeah, but like, when are we gonna
Yeah,
kick
because
some
like
ass?
this afternoon or this
Patience,
morning
my
when I was
son.
watching it,
Have you forgotten your lesson so quickly?
But master, does not the fire anyone to do?
used several times in the movie.
Does not the mountain need a storm? Does not your sword
And then I
need
started
king?
looking at Beavis and Butthead, and I'm like, oh, I started Beavis and Butthead started in 93, 94. I'm like, yeah, and this was a nice little bit of him, you know,
Uh-huh.
this gi on talking to the ancient master.
Mm-hmm. Man, classic Beavis and Butthead is so good. I don't know why getting kicked in the nuts is still so funny.
Yeah, just like The Simpsons, man, get hit with football wins the film festival. That's how you do it, fellas. You want to win a film festival, right?
There we go.
There.
Okay, so let's. I paused at the Game Boy Color commercial.
Yeah, I love this commercial.
All right, let's go ahead and go through it then. Press play on the commercial. Game Boy Color.
Definitely remember this.
This was 97. Man, look at
Love
this.
the
It's
kid
so,
coming out of the store. That kind of ties to the TMNT.
like edgy. This is like the Darren Aronofsky pie of Game Boy commercials.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at it.
intense.
Color. Whoa. And now Party of Five.
Why are you sleeping with me?
The reason I have Party of Five on here is because of Scott Wolf. I've never actually watched Party of Five, and I'm like, huh. All these people were in it.
Please
Oh,
don't run
okay.
away. I'm time away from you.
I will.
I used to watch this show.
Wednesdays at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Look at this. USA Today says best contemporary family drama.
I like this because I think the first season of Party of Five was pretty acclaimed, but nobody was watching it. It is a show that picked up a lot more steam as
There's
well.
only one problem with it. You're not watching it. You gotta watch this thing or it's gonna go away.
This would be around the time X-Files was playing on Fox
Sit there watching reruns of Charlie Day.
Yeah.
And wondering about how there's no good shows on TV.
The Party of Five on a
Doing
special
this
night
like really over the top New York
It
accent
is
too. I think it's funny as hell.
And here we got Crying Freeman, which is a movie I really want to watch now. Mark Dacascos, that's why it's here. So
Actually, being able to show off what you can do.
stylized, such mood. Oh, he's jumping. Yeah, look at him. Oh, intense looking, reaching it. Oh, the hands coming out. Oh yeah, handshake.
Is this only the strong and driver, the ones that seem to come up a lot when talking about Mark?
So much Drive. I love 2011's Drive, so I'm sure I'll love 1997's Drive.
It's got the same title. What can go wrong?
Yeah. So moody. Yeah, he's on fire. Yeah, pistol, boats. That guy.
In reference, actually, to the initial question of who cast in the reboot, I don't know who I would get to play the leads, but I would definitely bring Mark Hoskins back, maybe as the villain. That would be a cool flip and nod to the original.
That I think the commercial.
Los Angeles,
So
2007.
let's
The
pause
mystical
it
powers of
real
the
quick,
dragon
and
finished.
you can just say what you said again, Jared.
Oh, I was saying in reference to the initial question about who we would cast in a reboot, I don't know who I would get for the leads, but I would bring back Mark Dacascos as maybe the villain or something like that
Oh yeah, that'd be
in the
cool.
in the reboot of Double Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, he's not doing anything. He's doing a bunch of independent films. He'd totally come back for Double Dragon. Oh, he'd be a great villain.
Would he come back?
It's like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to making this movie. What's the title again, Mr. Bratt? Double Dragon? Well, it's nice knowing you. Gone. Meanwhile, Scott Wolf's like, hey, I'll do it. No, Scott Wolf, go away.
We don't want you back, Scott.
You weren't. Yeah. Go make Party of Six.
Party of Six.
There's one more. That's the difference. This time there's 2 Jennifer Love Hewitts. Which one of which is a robot.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. And the whole show is about the family trying to figure out who the robot is. It's like a techno thriller.
Also kind of the Warriors vibe.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah. Definitely. Especially that one scene where they're all being chased by the different gangs.
Yeah.
And one of them is a postman.
It's like you could watch this movie and just be like, take a shot every time you clearly get what they're trying to do or what they're ripping off.
For every reference you see.
Years ago, I was living in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I was working, and I was in the lunchroom, and this one guy was talking to another guy, and he was talking about seeing the Warriors in the drive-in in 1979 near Worcester, Massachusetts, and how he went to the movie, and it was just everybody started fighting everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, which I had heard like in New York and that, when in the movie theaters in the grindhouse, like, gangs would show up to watch the movie and then they would start fighting each other. But this is way out in Worcester, Massachusetts, in a drive-in near there in 79 when the movie opened, and he's like, yeah, everybody just started fighting everybody.
They weren't even gangs.
Yeah, no, they just Massachusetts was a great and weird state to live in. It's just, there's that one movie, that Ben Affleck movie, The Town.
Uh-huh.
There's that one piece of Boston is still the number one place in America for bank robberies. It's like a profession that keeps getting handed down from generation to generation. So, at the very starting, they tell you this, like, and it's just a little piece of Boston, South Boston or whatever. Yeah, it like leads the nation in bank robberies. So, Massachusetts was a fascinating place. But yeah, when you mentioned the Warriors, I just figured I'd do an aside of, like, I heard a first-person account of somebody who saw it when it opened in the drive-ins in 79. So I had heard, like, reading about the movie or whatever, that there was, gangs in that would fight one another. But this is just, like, out the suburbs, way out of Boston area. And, yeah, they just started fighting each other. So,
damn.
Movies don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
Like, man, this movie's rocks so hard, I need to fight somebody near me.
Just imagine if people watching John Wick and everyone starts, like, getting up and fighting each other.
Oh, man. See? I think if there was a film that would do it, I think it would be a John Wick film, right? I'd be like, come on, guys, let's just fight. Just for fun.
Yeah, break open the sprinkler, get the water into this theater, and we'll fight in the rain. You eat a bunch of popcorn so you're fat, like the guy in the movie.
I mean, like, as a kid, I know, like, I didn't go around fighting people, but certainly movies like Ghostbusters and Rambo 3 got me really excited to the point that I couldn't even sit still watching the movie. I had to get up and, like, run around and, like, punch the air.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, Double Dragon did not do that for me as a kid, or
just made you cry
all night ago. Just punching my wall.
just punching yourself. What was this? A terrible. This movie's so bad I want to fight myself.
Oh
gosh.
In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we talked about the hideout there, right? And it was like every kid's fantasy. There was no rules. There were stand-up video games and all that. Well, the Power Core also have a hideout, and as Alyssa Milano's character says, it's the only safe place where kids can go. So if we're going to look at, what do you think of this kid's hideout in this movie? Because there is stand-up video games there. One of them being Double Dragon.
They don't have unlimited soda.
No. And I think there's probably rules.
Yeah, and no guy offering you smokes. And they didn't have as many video games or skateboarders.
Well, because it was an $8 million budget, you can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean,
I did like how the rollerbladers and the skateboarders disrupted the lobby of the office building, though.
To be fair, though, this children's hangout had Alyssa Milano walking around in that outfit, so I mean, there's trade-offs.
Hey guys, how about this though? Because I totally forgot about this, and when you mentioned the hideout, it popped back into my head. When you first get the introduction to Alyssa Milano, the Power Corp, they save Scott Wolf and Mark Dacascos out, and they're just like they're outside and they're by like a graffiti wall.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like just come out of nowhere as if they've been like camouflaged into the graffiti wall.
They have.
So their wardrobe that they're wearing, the clothes that they're wearing look like the graffiti wall, but it just cuts to them and they're just standing there with their backs to the camera.
It's great.
And it's like, are you guys just standing there? Like they don't come out of
That's
anything.
what the Power Cord does.
Yeah.
Yeah, logically it makes no sense, but visually it looks pretty rad.
Yeah.
The Power Cord.
Again, that goes right to those Italian exploitation films. They would do weird ass shit like that.
It's like you get what they're going for, but the execution is less. Yeah. There's more to be desired.
Jared, you have to turn your mind off for this movie.
Oh, dude, my mind was off. Like, I was.
I don't know. I think my mind was on in this movie. So, in the movie at like 109.50, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you want me to get
yeah, you can draw it up.
Get that up, yeah.
So yeah, it's just this thing I noticed.
Why is that?
While you're queuing that up, I'll preface with that as I'm watching this movie, and then I encounter like the shots they used. I'm like, this is a really rural pro cop movie. The police chief is like 3 different times in the movie. He's offered a bribe by Robert Patrick's character, turns it down. Do you know what I mean? And then the police. It makes me laugh that they've conceded that crime is so bad that they just give up the nights. And then he says to Alyssa Milano's character, the chief says to his daughter, "What, the days aren't enough for you?"
Yeah.
They've conceded it so much that it's like, okay, well, we've won the daytime, which sucks when the times that in the news broadcast for Channel 102 News. Daylight savings time, and they lose an hour of curfew. Like the curfew starts an hour earlier.
Well, my favorite lines is during the cop's impassionate speech. One cop looks up and says, "Hey, man, you only want us to go out there because your daughter's out there." It's like such a childish thing to say. It's like, yeah. Let's get. All right, let's see. What's the time code? This was.
So it's like 109, 50 seconds.
109.
It'll be like Channel 69 News, the news broadcast. Which is weird that they had Channel 102 News, and now all of a sudden it's Channel 69. So I don't know why they have a second news channel, but they do.
Very pleasant indeed.
So now you're trying to bribe me.
Okay, let's see. That is just playing. Here we go. Alright, let's see. Double Dragon movie. It's locked. Like I said, first stream. Get this baby going.
Delario, I own the streets.
Here we go.
Now,
oh,
you can make this hard on yourself or easy. Looks like you're gonna be rich, Marion. Ooh.
Okay. Oh, we have 6 people watching. Oh boy. Let's see.
Oh, the pressure's on now.
Oh, the pressure's on now. Yep.
Yeah.
No, we got that. Let's see. Interact. So, what was the time code one more time?
109. 50 seconds.
109.
Yeah.
So it's in like the very, very beginning.
No, 1 hour.
Oh, 1
minutes,
hour.
right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, we're way into it by now.
Let's see.
It's was this like the news footage?
Yeah.
109 and 45. Okay, cool. Have it there. All right, let's see. Okay, here's 109. Okay. There we go. I'm just gonna play it from here.
Yeah, it'll probably be the tail end of a scene, maybe. It'll cut to a digital broadcast.
We're going back out there.
At night? You're getting real in broad daylight.
Yeah. You can see what's happening in the daylight. Can you imagine what'll happen if we just let this go on?
Chief, you just want us to go out because your kids out.
Wrong. I don't want to go out because my daughter is doing our job. Now we're taking back the streets.
This is the cop's speech, right?
That's an order!
Oh. Anyway, so... yeah, I took in my notes, I wrote down the time so I could go back, because I did look up...
Yeah, it's a special report channel 69.
Yeah, so it's playing.
Hold on. Let's see. 150 seconds. All right, okay, yeah. 109:45. Okay, so I'm starting at 109:45.
Okay.
All right, it's playing.
Special report from Channel 69. You are looking at New Angeles, city under siege, as the daylight violence continues to escalate now that the gangs have broken their truce with the police department. Stay with Channel 69 for continuing coverage of this breaking story.
So where do you want me to stop it, Rob?
We're going back out.
I can't see on my end, so did you? It showed the little report.
Yes.
Of the civil unrest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So as I'm watching that, the first shot is like a building on fire. So I pause it, and I'm like, the L.A. riots, the Rodney King decision, right, comes out. Of course, those 4 police were acquitted of all charges. Mm-hmm. So in April 29th, 1992, the L.A. riots occur. So I'm watching this Double Dragon movie, and I pause it. I'm like, holy shit, I've seen that shot. So then I start looking up L.A. riot footage. And, I actually have it on my phone, like a couple of still images from the helicopter shots and that. So, yeah, that's Koreatown on fire. And then it'll cut to movie footage of kids rioting, looting. And then it cuts to another shot where there's police chasing people through a parking lot. That's actual footage. So I guess in 1994, if you're making a Dragon Warrior movie and you're looking for civil unrest, social upheaval videos, well, what would you do? You would source, I guess, LA riot footage. I just thought that was crazy.
Damn,
in the movie, man. And as I'm watching it, and then as I'm watching those real life 2 scenes interspersed here, and then I'm like, this is a really pro cop movie, man. They're out tricked out in Humvees and shit, and there they all are. And then, as I said, 3 times, the police chief is like, could have been bribed. He's like, nope, not doing it. So I just, to see the real life LA riot footage there, it was just crazy to me.
Wait, is that, so you're saying that's really LA? Oh, come on, movie. Come on.
Yeah, no, seriously, paused it, holy shit, I've seen that footage. And I really started, researching the hell out of it and looking for it, and I have the real footage of a furniture store, and beside it was a warehouse. Yeah, so they actually have LA riot footage in there.
Oh my gosh, let me show that again to everybody.
Yeah, I just thought that was crazy as you're watching it, right? As a person who grew up in the 90s, I was 15 or whatever the hell I was, right? We watched all that live on TV, so those images are still in my brain somewhere, and as I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, that's LA riot footage in there. And in the end credits scroll, there is no credits for source.
So what you're seeing now is LA riot footage on screen, people. It's real LA riot footage, not shot for the movie. It's from an actual event.
Continuing coverage of this breaking story.
Is that not crazy?
The fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And that was like literally 2 years. It would come into theaters 2 years after that happened, which everything around that's a tragedy.
That's like if 9/11 happened and then
Exactly.
and then like they have like an alien invasion movie and they show pictures of the towers coming down from 9/11.
Yeah, where Sam Raimi in the Spider-Man movie, they digitally erased the footage they already shot of the towers standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this movie, they're like, "Hey, we need some social unrest footage. I know where we can get some. I know somebody works at CBS News." That's just crazy to me.
Can you imagine if Sam Raimi had said, "Hey, so we have footage of these buildings coming down. Can we have a scene where Green Goblin shoots the World Trade Center?" And yeah, that'd be. Oh man. Mm.
Yeah, it was off-putting to me, and I'm just like watching it, and I'm like,
off-putting. Oh man, that's like putting it lightly.
This whole movie is off-putting to me.
Well, and I'm like, when it cuts to the like now recreated like the movie stuff of people smashing a store, I'm like, thank God there's no black kids in that shot. You know what I mean? Imagine if they shot that with some black kids, which would have probably been the black kids in the movie, and they're stealing a TV after actual LA riot footage. So I'm just like, that is just crazy intense and wildly just inappropriate.
It's very cinematically irresponsible.
Like now, if somebody were to do that, it would be like, well, I didn't know, right? It was like 30, 40, 35 years ago or whatever. However, that was like very raw and still very much in that moment.
And think about
not that now it should be done either, maybe, but I'm just like, that's crazy.
I mean, things lasted longer before the internet. I feel like it's big social events went on. Like things were relevant for longer.
Yeah.
So I think the LA riots were like relevant for like 5. I think people were still talking about them when I came to California, which was in 1998. People are still talking about him. But yeah. This popped into my head and it's terrible. Can you imagine if like you had a shot of a black kid running with a TV and then it cuts to like the footage for the movie and it's a white kid holding a TV? I don't know why I thought that was darkly funny. But yeah. Fucking filmmakers, come on, be better. Be better.
Well, like if there was people of color in that next movie scene of social upheaval, man, that would be so irresponsible.
Oh yeah.
Especially, it's a kids' movie, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
that
a kids,
rate.
Yeah.
As we were talking, how like mismanaged and all over the place this movie is, and in many ways not in a fun way.
Yeah.
You know, they got a video game property. Of course, it was one of those things where you have a skeleton of a story, so you're like, okay, well, how do we flesh that out? It's amazing to me that kids' movies based off of properties in the 90s it went right to like cyberpunk dystopia.
That seems to be the go-to kind of like, how do you adapt this video game live action? Well, you need punks. You need
let's
lots
blow
of
up
garbage.
of a city.
That's
gone.
You know what kids love? kids love dystopian, boring cyberpunk stuff. Kids love Blade Runner.
And they really like actual news footage in their movies, man. All right?
Kids love seeing atrocities.
You know, I was talking about a Bobo and how the experiment on him, like that whole process disturbed me. And it was also disturbing to me and kind of funny that like it took him so long to realize what he looked like in the mirror. Because you get that scene where he's in like wherever they're keeping him in the hideout.
Uh-huh.
And he removes a picture from like, first of all, the picture's at like the bottom right-hand corner of the mirror. So how do you miss your own reflection if you're in that room for like I'm assuming days.
Mhm.
But the way they execute it, it's like he removes that picture of I think it's of like some woman in a bikini or whatever, and then he looks at himself in the mirror, and then he realizes what has happened, like what he looks like now, and he starts yelling and freaking out.
It's such a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
Tonally, it doesn't belong.
But it's just funny to me how long it took him to like. He was in that room. That mirror was there the entire time.
He was like, it was so hard to masturbate last night. There's this picture of this woman. How come it's so difficult for me right now? Oh, wait a minute, I look like this.
But how did it take him so long to realize what he looked like? I don't get it.
I do think it's funny to contrast this movie with, Super Mario Brothers that we also talked about at length, and why they're both kind of giant messes, and why did we enjoy Super Mario Brothers obviously vastly more than watching Dragons Forever, and as far as
Dragons Forever.
Sorry, Drake. I meant Drake. Sorry, I was thinking. My mind's already in a Jackie. I'm like, I'm gonna watch Dragons Forever to watch Double Dragon.
It sounds like a better movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Dragons Forever?
I haven't seen Dragons Forever.
Oh, I have all the stuff around me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the all-time great Jackie Chan movies right here. Like
Dragons Forever. Oh wow, that looks like a hefty box set.
Oh yeah, no, it's incredible. So it's put out by they were doing it in England.
Okay.
And they started finally. I think it's
Is it Scream? Is it Scream Factory?
No, it's something 88. I think it's just 88 films.
Okay.
Just 88 films with Fortune Star, who I think still owns the rights to most of these. But yeah, no, this is an incredible. Okay, so let's plug a really good. This is an amazing Jackie Chan movie in the 80s, and yeah, I just highly recommend it. So yeah, I was meant Double Dragon, but then I went to Dragons Forever. But this movie, I referenced this when we talked about another movie where my friends and I had a catalog from a dude in New York City, and it was like a zine. Remember the zines?
Yeah.
And it was just a list of movies that he had, I think, on Laserdisc. And if you sent him $40 cash, he burnt them, he taped them to VHS tapes, and he would mail you. It was in these blue cases, and there's a little plastic thing. It would say Dragons Forever or Crime Story or whatever. And my friends and I pooled our resources, and we all picked like 2 or 3 movies, and we all picked different ones so we could see them and we'd trade them with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones I got was Dragons Forever. You couldn't get this movie over in North America until like this release came out. Like you could get like bootleg copies and stuff from it. I got one from Chinatown in Toronto a billion years ago. But yeah, finally, like this is like to have it in this set, it was just incredible. So yeah, I highly recommend seeing Dragons Forever.
Okay, you've sold me.
But I was trying to talk about Double Dragon in some manner, but I think Super Mario Brothers, as dark as the filmmakers were making that film, I do think that they were still approaching that movie with fun, and it really helps that like John Leguizamo and
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins had a chemistry.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mark Dacascos and Scott Wolf has that chemistry.
No.
They definitely don't.
And they had that weird thing going on with their names, like I'm ugly and you're homely.
Yeah. And they also have like Super Mario Brothers and Double Dragon. They both have those like their not their handshakes that they do with their like knuckles. But again, it's like it works in one movie, it doesn't work in the other. Where you just don't feel their brotherly bond like you do.
No, because one's Hawaiian and one's white, and they have no chemistry. And it's okay. I mean, they don't have to be the same colored skin or whatever. But like, there's like the acting in general just feels off in this movie. Everybody's acting feels bad. Like everyone has no chemistry with each other. It's just like, what is going on? Whereas the directors of Super Mario Brothers are competent directors. They just shanghaied a movie and made it into a cyberpunk film.
Well, and as you said, like you could really see it. They wanted to make their movie.
Yeah.
So they started this Super Mario Brothers movie, as you said. Like the cast showed up, and the movie that they had read on a script was not the movie that they built as sets. So, but they went out and they like, we're gonna make this movie. But I think at some point they're making it with some sort of passion for movies and fun. I don't know this director much who did Double Dragon, but I was looking at his filmography, and it is a lot of music videos before and after. This might be his only feature film.
Yeah.
Which again, some people make it one feature film and it's a good movie or whatever, and then they can't get another one. So that's not always a sign of like, whatever. But anyway, he had a whole bunch of music videos and then a whole bunch of music videos. This doesn't even look like a music video. Like, The Crow, right? Alex Proyas or whatever did a lot of music videos. You watch The Crow, it's very stylized, of course.
Oh, it's a music video.
This film is not stylized in that way you would think somebody who was making slick music videos would have it look, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Let's see. Let's roll let's do a couple more trailers, and this is both of the trailers, and yeah. So go back to YouTube and what's this? Okay. Interact. There we go. All right, this is Double Dragon 1994. So I'll turn the volume down a little bit on the video so we can talk over it. So feel free to chime in and comment on whatever you're seeing. All right, go ahead and play. This is the home video release.
2007.
The mystical powers of the dragon are dangerous for one
Alright,
person to possess.
yeah, that opening, that first shot made me think of Cyborg.
Justice.
Look at these cutaway texts. Can you even read what it says?
There's the cool explosion.
Oh, the font is terrible.
Double Dragon. Home video is how I think any of us would have saw this movie. I don't recall having any recollection of anticipating this movie or seeing it in a movie theater.
All right, here's the theatrical.
I just recall seeing the poster, and then this made me think of Super Mario Brothers. The shot, kind of.
The city has changed.
It's just a mall.
Rule the day. Punks rule the night.
Cool, yeah. Splatterpunks from Robert Patrick. I actually kind of like this sequence when he wins over the crowd in that fight tournament. I wonder if Robert Patrick enjoyed his time.
It magnifies the power inside you. This
actress, I forget her name, but she was the love interest in Rambo 2.
Oh shit!
And
she looked familiar.
Yeah, and she's like only 3 years older than Mark Dacascos and Scott Wolf.
I hate that dumb effect of Robert Patrick turning into like shadow paper.
Evil construction paper.
He said, Scott Wolf line. You guys hope you like guns.
I just like how he touches half the medallion and something happens though. Both of the brothers keep touching the medallion, nothing happens until Scott Wolf throws the medallion away. And then the medallion's like, woo, back to him. He's like, oh, you finally do something. I just have to let you go.
Why would he have thrown it away in that climactic moment?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Which, he's frustrated, but he's throwing it away to a guy that's been from day one trying to get that other half. So he's like, here you go.
We don't really have to wait, do we?
Yeah. They get their costumes.
Oh, what did my wife say when the costumes? I wrote it down. Those costumes, what?
Like, change back.
No, can you take them off? Scott Wolf saying, "Do we really have to wear these?" That almost feels like it wasn't in the script. He just said it.
Could be. I'd buy that for $1.
We keep referencing better movies.
Yeah. All this movie just makes you want to watch better movies.
Like, Dragons Forever.
Dragons Forever.
Exactly.
That's our next stream, Dragons Forever.
Oh, that would be good.
Hey, I'm always down.
Oh, well, let's work through the video game movies and then Dragons Forever.
Yeah.
One day we will do Dragons Forever.
I do find it sad that in this world, Madonna is an ex-pop star who's divorced with Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
Which, are kids finding that funny? I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a joke children would get either.
I don't even remember that.
It was like something...
That was Channel 102 News. Channel 69 News kept it real. Channel 102 had Andy
Too
Dick.
real. Too real.
Yeah, and away. I just thought that was funny, too. It's a completely separate news station. That's cool.
They're like the MTV News,
Yeah, it's teaching kids to look for more than one source, so I do appreciate that.
Exactly. Well, which one is Fox News, though?
Channel 69.
Oh.
That was great that you were able to cue up that scene, though, while we were talking about it. I think it has much more of an impact to actually see what, as it's happening.
I can do it to other scenes, too.
That's cool.
But I have to figure out this program more without having to...
No, that's cool. That's the one that that when I'm watching it, I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I just saw that.
See...
Let's see.
I wrote down that they do... they have what's that tunnel in LA? That famous tunnel that's in Blade Runner?
Second Avenue Tunnel.
Yeah, hard to miss that. Can't miss that every time somebody does it.
I think it's third. It's First or Third Street, because I used to drive down that all the time.
It's Second Street.
Second Street. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Because I wrote that down.
Okay, cool.
Because it says the Second Street Tunnel, right, where Blade Runner was shot, THX 1138, Repo Man, Less Than Zero. The Los Angeles Times has a great quote about that tunnel, saying it's the most recognizable city landmark most Americans have never heard of.
It's pretty killer to drive through.
Because it's in everything. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. He said it's how you would get from... kind of like you get from what there. I don't know how you put it, how you describe it. If you're in dense LA City, and then when you drive through it, you're out of the dense LA City, and it's a long tunnel. And some people drive their bikes down it, and I'm like, you must be nuts.
I said to Sarah, who you guys met earlier, that when we go to Los Angeles, we're going to that tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
It's in everything.
Ride your bike down it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's bring up the trailers again. Oh, I think that's everything. I think we showed all the trailers. That was the last one. Cool.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Scene transitions.
I do appreciate when they're having that tournament at the starting of the movie, and there's another aftershock, which seems to happen throughout, at least in the earlier part of the movie, and then there's the guy with the hydraulic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, shit's falling and stuff, and there he is trying to
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's pumping up he's got the jack. He's pumping up the.
Yeah, it reminded me of Super Mario Brothers, where you get to watch him do plumbing. You know what I mean? Which is fascinating. So here's this dude. He's just hanging out at a karate tournament, and he's just trying to keep the building level.
I also appreciate how short he was. He's like this tiny gnome man. Get this up.
Well, that's like a little thing that just ties in nicely to the world building and showing you how this world functions, and okay, so somebody has to be operating that because of these random quakes or aftershocks or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looked like the owner of the building, though. You'd think it'd be like an intern that does that, it it'd be like the 14-year-old, like the teenager who just got his work permit. This is your job. You make sure the building doesn't fall down. Okay.
I did
Somebody's
like
gotta do it.
when they do the these 90 video game adaptations that are based on sometimes very small amount of story detail, and they also try to incorporate video game details in the movie. Is when the Mohawk gang is stopping them. The kids are out. The Lee brothers are out after curfew. They're in the station wagon. They get stopped by the Mohawk gang, and they're going to pay a $50 toll or whatever. Anyway, Scott Wolf, he pulls down the visor, and it gives him like the stats of like the Mohawk leader. So I dug that little detail of like this little video game nod.
They also in the car chase there they have these lines like when they have to drive, the bad guys have to drive the vehicle because they can't see because of one measly newspaper or whatever is on the windshield.
And they're so excited they got it on there.
Yeah, but they go into virtual mode and then they have all these lines that are supposed to be like they're like, play the game, or this isn't a video game. Like these lines that reference the fact that you're watching a movie that's based off a video game.
You must suck at video games.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can queue up that car chase. I can just comment on it as we watch it.
I joked that that teletracker they were using was like it was prescient of Google Maps.
Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much have the internet in their car.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's got that weird tracking device thing to monitor gangs and their transactions. So, it is a police surveillance state that New Angeles is in.
So here we go with the, here's that scene.
Hey, clown.
Car chase.
We got the guy coming out with the clown. We got, I have, it's Julia Nicholson, Scott Wolf, and Mark Dacascos in the car, and
I really don't think it's a good idea.
yeah, that's it.
The sequence starts kind of cool, but then you realize it's just cutting to them driving, and then it cuts to the bad guy. It doesn't really do much with it, other than cars following each other. I do like that they've been throwing in stuff to burn.
Even the Second Street Tunnel in Blade Runner, it was like a Dutch angle. In this one, it's like just a head-on shot. It's nothing interesting.
If anybody's seen Meet the Fableman, and then when David Lynch is playing John Ford, he would explain that straight up.
Right, yeah.
When you understand why that is there and why that is there, you might make a halfway decent picture.
What do you see in that painting over there? Alright, now look at this painting. Now get the fuck out of my office. Again, referencing a better movie. As far as fights and that go, though, there was an interesting little bit in the when they're trapped in the boat shed. First off, they get in a boat shed, and there's this really cool, badass motorcycle in there. And then Scott Wolf's character, he's going to jump on it, right? And then Billy Lee, right, Scott Wolf, he jumps on it, and Jimmy Lee, played by Mark Dacascos, is like, do you even know how to start that thing? And he's like fucking around with it, and then they can't start it or whatever. So then they get in a boat.
I think it like falls apart.
Yeah, but the Mohawks have trapped him in this junkyard, and then the kid sticks. There's one of the gang member guys. He's got his eye in a little like piece of wood, right? Like a little hole in the wood. And you're like, oh, there's an eyeball. I've seen enough Fulci films. There's going to be eyeball violence here, and there was when he takes the broomstick. Jimmy Lee, Mark Dacascos' character, takes the broomstick, boom, right into that kid's eye. I'm like, that's intense. So, shitty as the fight scenes were, there was these little moments where you're like, oh, that's crazy.
They have like accidental moments in this movie where it's like, oh, that's cool.
Oh my god! Like, oops, we managed to entertain you.
Oops. We promise we won't do it again.
Well, yeah, like near the end, there's one of the kids get kicked through like a piece of like a pane of glass. That was cool.
Oh yeah, it's when can I find that? Can I find that?
Jimmy's possessed by Robert Patrick's character, and kicks Billy through the glass of the Power Corp hangout.
Yeah, let's see if I can cue it up. Let's see.
While you're queuing that up, another little detail that I thought was funny as hell was Robert Patrick is extremely deliberate when he's ashing his cigarette.
Interesting. I don't know if I caught.
Yeah, like
I mean,
every time. Yeah, at least with the couple times that I paid attention, like when he ashes his cigarette.
Actually, I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just very like, okay, well here's his cigarette, right? And he's just very like.
I did enjoy Robert Patrick. Actually, I gotta say. Credit where credit is due.
He was fun. He was fun. Okay, here's that scene.
Jimmy. Take some butt. Exactly.
Yeah, right through the glass. They had to set that up and everything.
And that reminded me of Jackie Chan stuff that was happening in the 80s and early 90s. So there is that.
It reminds
There's
you of a
these
better
little
movie.
glimpses of the fight scenes that could be.
I swear the Power Rangers movie has better fight scenes.
The Power Rangers movie is a better movie.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if only for Ivan Ooze. This movie has no Ivan Ooze. If like Robert Patrick came out of an egg and said, "I want the Double Dragon coin," it might have been a better movie, you know. But
you know what was a really funny gag though at the end of the movie? The two henchmen holding signs.
Oh yeah,
It's just like they're out of work.
It's the only laugh I actually got.
That was, dare I say, like a smart bit of comedy.
Oh yeah, who told you that joke? Probably Al Young came up with it. You know, probably not, but it's just I don't know, man. The jokes are all over the place in this movie.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie. Like again, not having seen this movie since I was a kid, it was cool to go back and take another look at it.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, that's the last look.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
We're not watching it again.
Oh, when you watch these like 90s movies, so there was a nice when you got to see Michael Berryman shows up as the leader of the Maniacs.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in
he
House
was
of
in that
Thousand
movie.
Corpses and The Hills Have Eyes. And he plays the Skull Cowboy in The Crow, which he's in the graphic novel, which was kind of another talisman that was leading him along on this journey, The Crow. But the film, when the tragedy of Brandon Lee being killed on the set and they recut the movie to make it less dark, his scenes got cut out. The Skull Cowboy, played by Michael Berryman. If on the special features, though, there's a couple of still shots in a montage where you can see him.
That's a shame.
Cool.
There's a darker version of The Crow?
Yeah. They cut out a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a book on the whole, making of The Crow and the tragedy and everything.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, we got to do The Crow at some point.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
Well, yeah, because there's the movie, and then there's all, the other stuff that happened. But,
everything around it.
Yeah, and it's we've already now talked about two other movies that shot in North Carolina, that cement plant.
Really? The Crow was shot at the cement plant as well?
Yeah, The Crow, Super Mario Brothers, and...
This was also shot in it, Double Dragon, because you could tell one of the shots was that cement plant, right?
No, this one was shot in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Those were Cleveland.
That
river, the Cuyahoga River, it was interesting where the boat chase happens and they light the river on fire.
Yeah.
They told people that this was happening, and then people freaked out and were phoning 911 or whatever.
It's like
Fun fact, though, maybe this film caught up to our future and our current present, because that river has literally caught on fire several times now in the future, like that the film's future now. Several times, there's been so much pollution and garbage in it. It's not funny, but it has actually caught on fire. But
It's
yeah,
the
no, they
movie's
shot
fault.
this one in L.A. and Cleveland. But no, it was Super Mario Brothers. What's the other movie we just wrapped talking about?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a plug. That's coming out soon.
Yep.
Jared's working very hard on that as we speak, putting that together.
I've got like a week or so left on the audio edit, and then moving on to the visuals. It's coming out good. I'm looking forward to dropping that. That was a fun conversation, and it's a movie that's like near and dear to my heart. So I want to put some extra care into this one.
Heck yeah. I can't wait.
As we got talking during that, there was even it was awesome to watch how excited you got about talking about that cement plant in North Carolina, those sets, and how you can kind of match up Super Mario Brothers scenes and the Crow scenes in that too. So it was fun to talk about like the North Carolina and how it linked several of these movies that we're interested in, what we've already talked about.
One day.
That's exactly where I am in the the audio edit. Is literally at that point where we're talking about all that stuff.
One day, Jared, we're gonna talk about so many movies that we're gonna talk about each movie that was shot at this cement plant, and then we're gonna have a supercut of every scene. And
Oh my God.
Rob, you said it doesn't exist anymore, right?
It's been close. So as far as I know, even when all these movies were shooting there in the '90s, the plant had long shuttered. However, as far as I know, the plant's still there. It's just all fenced in and no trespassing and whatnot. But
We're gonna break in and
physical. Yeah.
We're gonna break in.
The actual physical plant's still there.
Hell yeah! I thought it was like it had been turned into like a coffee shop or something.
No, it's too big and too what is a brutalist? Is that the type of architecture? But it's literally a cement factory. It's crazy looking.
It should be a landmark. It should
there have been some cinephiles in that, and I think especially in that North Carolina area, I think Wilmington is near. That have been pushing for that because when you look it up on Google Maps, it literally says cultural landmark.
Nice. Okay.
Because so many films that were shot there.
We should do a live show there.
Yeah, that would be pretty rad.
All building towards that.
That's our ultimate goal, ladies and gentlemen. You hear it first here. Our ultimate goal is to shoot a live show at the cement plant in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
Set goals.
Why not? Right?
From our discussions, that kind of is like the place to go.
Yeah.
That's where it's at, man.
Figure out how to like sneak in there as we're we're on like fucking jumpsuits, like we're there to fix something.
We show up dressed as the characters from Super Mario Brothers. Like each of us is dressed differently as like a different character from a movie that was shot there. Like Jared, you're the Crow. I'm dressed as Mario. Rob's in a hyper realistic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume. Hey, what are you jackasses doing here?
We're just here to inspect the door.
There are no doors.
Why do you have those microphones?
We'll just the old fallback is always student filmmaker.
Yeah.
I have no permits. We haven't covered that in class yet. I have no idea how this works. We're just trying to get a shot.
I'm just a young boy with who makes bad decisions. Both of you look like you're in your 40s. All three of you look like you're in your 40s. Don't impress us, and it just goes on from there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, guys. I think we've pretty much covered this entire movie, right? Like,
yeah.
Does anybody feel like they haven't said anything about that they need to like get off their chest. Now's
Well,
the
we
time
always
to do
kind
it.
of do like a final word thing. So
Yeah.
my final word will come from my wife Sarah, who you both met, who helped me out with all the technical things of getting this thing going on my end down here in Texas.
Mhm.
But because we drove around, I'd watched the movie in the morning, and then we had ran some errands, and we were driving around. I was talking about the actual LA riot footage in there, and we were talking about like when you're doing a movie for not a lot of money and you're trying to increase the production value, right?
Mhm.
And then Sarah's thought was like, where do production values end and social values begin? So
Yeah.
it was just very off-putting to see the real life LA riot footage interspersed in this kid's movie. So
In a
it's
kid's
pretty crazy.
sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
It's like if it's one thing if it's like a kid's like a kid movie about a kid who survived the LA riot, but it's like, no, you're making a fictional video game movie, and not even a good one at that.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I will say closing remarks about this movie. It was made when Double Dragon was losing popularity, and it was made poorly and directed poorly, and luckily the art direction is what is aged the best and makes it still watchable. And Alyssa Milano's star power and Mark Dacascos, him having done some work, and and just the fact that there's no other Double Dragon properties out there besides the cartoon, that it's like, because otherwise I don't know why you would watch this movie. The only way it's required viewing for like 90s video game adaptations, but it's not like it doesn't. I don't know how it would keep anyone's attention, really, unless you really, really like Double Dragon and really don't care, at the same time don't care about accuracy, and you just like seeing stuff on a screen.
Like moving images on a screen.
You like film, and you like 90s stuff, and you like motion and stuff, and songs that sound like other songs but aren't those songs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really all I can say. It's worth a watch if you're going down the rabbit hole with video game earned movies, then you might as well check this out. But yeah, I can't really recommend it outside of that.
No.
I'd say there are other video game turned movies. We'll be talking about a couple more in future streams that are so much better than this one.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Yeah. And
get excited.
And yeah, I'm just gonna plug our upcoming edited video on this film discussion on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. Keep an eye out. Keep checking the community tab, guys, because I'm always updating where I'm at in the edit. So yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Oh, we haven't answered the question. How would we reboot this Double Dragon? Is there who wants to go first?
Look, all I got is you gotta bring back Mark Dacascos. Whether he's like passing on, like he comes back as this character, and he's gonna do like the passing of the torch. Who the new leads are, I don't know. I can't think of anybody who comes to mind that would get me excited to see this new Double Dragon movie.
Okay, hear me out. We're gonna do it just as, with just the same level of bad taste as this one. So no Asian actors. Well, they weren't. I mean, they were white in the game, but you have. So actually, no. I'm saying this facetiously as like a joke, a satire idea of how you would approach it, with just money in mind. Like you just want people to see this movie, and you just want to make a lot of money. So you would do Timothy Chalamet and Tom Holland as Jimmy and Timmy, or the Lee brothers, and they're
that works.
Jimmy and Bimmy. Well, Timmy. Well, anyway. So you started out, and Marion is, I don't know, Zendaya, and she is just like the game. She's punched out in the beginning and dragged off by a gang member who's played by I don't know, some actor who's way older. Jason Momoa.
Why not?
Jason Momoa takes her away, and then they just start fighting through gangs, and that's the movie. It's directed by who did the raid? Gareth Edwards. Yeah, Gareth Edwards directs it. No, actually, you wouldn't do Gareth Edwards because he's not Money. Money would, it would be David Lech.
Yeah. Or Chad Stahelski.
Or Chad Stahelski. Chad Stahelski, if you're lucky, because he's good.
Yeah.
And
he's great.
And David Lech is good too, but he's like it's like this, you know, like they're so close. But Stahelski is still a little higher. So you get the director, you get one of the John Wick directors, and you have Mark Dacascos come back as the main villain who wants to do some sort of weird interdimensional pseudo Asian thing with that involves Zendaya, and then you get Steven Seagal's bloated living corpse to be a Bobo, and that's like the cameo, and Seagal does no actual martial arts in the movie because he can't anymore, so it's just CGI. He just shows up once, and the rest of him is digital image. Or it's Scott Adkins again in a fat suit that is just a Seagal costume.
I mean, Seagal should just be the villain.
That's true.
I put my money on that.
Yeah, okay.
We had in Machete.
You could swap out Dacascos and Seagal. So Seagal's just literally all Seagal has to do is sit in a chair, which is all he does in movies anyway. Now, and then you have Dacascos maybe as his henchman, who could be the guy from the first movie who somehow went bad off camera. And
you know what? Fuck it. Bring back Scott Wolf and Mark Dacascos, but they're not the leads. They're just like they're the adults now.
They bail out the leads. They bail out the protagonists when the protagonists are getting their ass kicked, and then they come out of nowhere.
Cops. They can play cops.
There we go. They're the
bring back Alyssa Milano.
Cops still have to relinquish the city to the night gangs. That's what we could call it too. Double Dragon, the night gangs.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
You know what? You know who else is coming back? Vanna fucking White's coming back to still be the broadcaster of Channel 102 Nightly News, the #1 station in New Angeles.
Yeah, Vanna White, who can still do it.
Vanna White's coming back.
And and then Alyssa Milano. What? Yeah, she'll come back as I don't know. She's just
they're all coming back.
She's just everyone's coming back. You know.
I just think there was a whole side story there that they could have explored more of why she's got the need to wear a wig in her house.
Yeah.
Not as the leader of the power corps. That's where she can be real. That's where she lives her truth. However, when she's home, she's got to don a wig.
I didn't even think about that.
Her brother and father.
I didn't even think about that. Switch it. But you would have. I kind of wish the brother tried to blackmail her consistently, like that. He just had that one scene where he was.
What a shitty negotiator he is. I want $100. All right, I want 5. All right, you owe me.
Yeah, that went nowhere.
Which seems like he bribes her almost every day she comes back from power core shit, which is probably happening at least let's say 3-4 times a week, she's doing power core shit. I mean, it's probably can't be a full-time commitment, so at least 4 times a week, she goes out, takes off the wig, goes, finally, I'm me.
Taking care of some
this
kids.
Fucking gang with my cool fucking hangout, my graffiti trench coat,
Yeah.
and then goes home and the fucking shithead brother keeps trying to blackmail her.
Funny, the first time they say Power Corp, I'm like,
Yeah.
they say Power Corp or Power Corp or Power Corp. I was like, I have to like kind of like stop it and then scroll back and be like, wait, what? What did they say?
It'd be great if throughout the movie everyone says a different thing.
Yeah.
We're Power Cord. What? Yeah, I thought you said
yeah.
Power Core. No, we're Power Corpse. How
I don't
about
even know
Power
how they
Core?
said it. I'm just saying it how I want to say it. I didn't think that's a good catch. I don't even know how they said it. I'm just like, whatever.
No, I
Power
looked.
Core.
It is Power Corp.
All right.
Power Corp.
Like
Corpa.
corporation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What a dumb name for a gang, by the way.
It sounds like a terrible like EDM band from the 90s.
Again, all these kids are being indoctrinated into the system. It sounds like something like, it's the thing that's running the electrical grid that you're paying your bills to, which is clearly not working.
It's true.
Half the time in New Angeles.
It just seems like Power Core. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's a cult. It's a cult of electrical workers.
This whole movie, like, if there's a real final word for me to say, then I feel like this whole movie is an indoctrination of children to just obey authority blindly.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Can we talk about how the final scene makes no sense at all? Just real quick, how like it's established that Mark Dacascos' character has the power to he gets the power to possess people, and then Mark Dacascos and Alyssa Milano are like, oh wait a minute, it's Scott Wolf who has possessed Bobo, whatever. We should go along with it. Let's just make fun of him. And it's like, why would you? He doesn't have that power. He has the other power. Did you forget? You have that power. It's like, what the hell?
And he just appears in the back seat.
And then they all scream. Yeah, and he appears in the back seat out of nowhere, and everyone screams, and they drive off. And
that just started to really grate on my nerves every time characters would look at each other and do the Home Alone scream or whatever. Like. One time, all right, it's cute. They keep doing it. It's like, stop, please stop.
It was in the contract. That's why they stayed with the movie. Anytime we want to, we can do the Home Alone scream, and you can't stop us.
I have to admit, towards the end of this movie, I got up to brush my teeth. just brushing my teeth, watching the end of this movie. I'm like, it's over yet. But you know what? It makes for fun conversations like these. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a perfect first movie to do for this stream because we're not used to doing the streams, and it's just as goofy movie to talk about and interact with our audience. So there you go, Daryl. That's how we would reboot Double Dragon, make a bigger mess. Double Dragon, the Night Gang. What was it? The Night Gangs?
Truly an awesome title, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Double Dragon is being rebooted. Like, there's a new Double Dragon game coming out, so maybe, people will get so excited that they'll make a movie.
We already got the title. That's halfway there.
Yeah. We're halfway there.
We can get Vanna White.
Yeah. Then
I know that. I know we can get Vanna White.
Then we have a name.
Yeah, we have a name attached.
It all hinges on that.
She's like,
the other
we call Vanna White. Vanna White's like, I'm more of a Final Fight girl.
I've been waiting for this call. I want to reprise my role as the anchor of New Angeles 2007. We'll set it in 2000. Okay, so I was going to say 2008. No, it has to be just a little bit beyond where we're at right now. Mm-hmm. So we're in, 2023? Mm-hmm. We'll set it in 2028. That's a nice
2028. Yeah. Double Dragon 2028, The Night Gangs.
And now we have to reimagine what LA looks like, because not only has it suffered the 2007 quake, We've dropped in another one in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So LA's even more fucked up. That tunnel is still there.
So it's going to be kind of like...
They don't build the tunnels like they used to.
Yeah, the Second Street Tunnel is like... It's like Los Angeles isn't even called Neo Los Angeles anymore. It's just called Second Street Tunnel City.
Yeah, there you go. Second
Awesome.
Street, Tunnel City, the night gangs. And that's what the gangs are fighting over, who gets to be at the entrance of the fucking tunnel to charge the tolls, because that's only... Like, the economy is so shitty now.
Only way to get
Setting up
money.
barricades.
$50.
Oh, and it'll be like, when, nations face off against each other, right? Like, Pakistan and India, and they do that big show with the swords and everything.
Uh-huh.
Like, seriously, this is serious shit, right?
Okay.
They do that every day, right? Two nuclear powers facing off each other. They have the ceremonial things and the swords. However, in our movie, the night gangs have to concede the toll bridges to the cops when the sun comes up.
Interesting.
Yeah, because the cops still own the city in the daytime. It's just the uneasy truce what the gangs have fostered with the police.
I'm sold. We could do this.
And I will not be using real footage of India and Pakistan doing that. All right, I'm not putting
you won't. So you won't take the footage and then really crudely photoshopping faces over them.
Exactly. I'm not going to do that until the studio pressures me. You heard it here. It'll be how many films have been co-directed by 3 people? I don't think has there ever been one? Because we could turn this one in.
I mean, I think I've seen like an independent horror film that has
Signal.
Oh yeah,
thinking of the Signal.
Oh yeah, probably Signal. Yeah.
Is that like 3 short vignettes together to form a film though? I don't know.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and that film came out in 2007, the same time this fucking earthquake hit Los Angeles. Crazy.
Well, we could have 3 different segments of the movie, and each of us direct a different segment.
Oh yeah, don't even tell each other what they are, right? And then Daryl Shaw will bring Daryl in, and he has to loop it together like you do in anthology films with bookends and like little scenes to tie the crazy shit that we've all made that we have not talked with each other, and like this makes no fucking sense. Mine is all going to be about border relations. I'm just putting it out there. That's my theme.
Yeah, mine's just going to be a prolonged car chase. Like Mad Max, Fury Road. Only worse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Second Street fucking tunnel.
I think mine is just going to be like a neon lit street fight in the city. And yeah, it's all going to be shot with candid angles. And yeah, it'll just be just one continuous shot of Jimmy and Timmy or Steve or whatever their fucking names are. Billy and Jimmy, and they're gonna be fighting, and it's gonna be super stylish, and at one point it goes into black and white.
I mean, that would be the cooler version of this movie, is like raid style, but yeah, like neon lighting and just fucking gangs brawling with each other on the street. Mm-hmm. Very simple plot.
Yeah, it'd be cool. This like a straight action.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have dialogue.
Very little dialogue.
Yeah, the raid. Yeah.
Awesome soundtrack.
You just have each gang has a different song. There we go.
Which we already referenced. We have had this movie created by Walter Hill and his team in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, what we could probably do
is get back to Coney Island through every gang in New York City.
I could go into v.io with this video and have v.io do subtitles. Take those subtitles, give them to ChatGDP, have ChatGDP write us a script for Double Dragon 2028, the Night Gangs. Yeah. And yeah, we'll see.
All right.
I will do that tonight, and it will be on. It will put it on our Instagram page.
Alrighty.
Keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. All right. So I think we can open it up to the chat if anyone has any questions or has any other things they wanna say, or have us any other movies they want us to bring back from the dead.
Like cyberpunk zombies.
Cyberpunk zombies, yeah. Has that been done yet? Call up Roger Corman.
I'm sure somebody's taking a stab at it somewhere.
I mean, if there's zombie strippers, there's got to be cyberpunk zombies. Oh, has Albert Pyun done it?
I'm not sure.
He's done a lot, or did a lot. That'll be a stream when we talk about him.
Yeah.
That will be a stream. Well, if there's no one in the audience who would like to, how many people do we have in our audience right now? 4 watching. Hello, everyone who's watching.
Hello.
Hello, and thank you so much for watching our first stream. It's been kind of a freestyle thing, going back and forth.
Obviously, we figured out how to get it all up and running, and then once it got up and running, it went really smooth.
Yeah, my computer didn't blow up yet, so that's good.
Yeah, so it actually went really smooth once everything was dialed in and locked down.
Yeah, the internet didn't kick out. None of us lost our signal. It's very nice.
Which is a possibility here. When we get thunderstorms down here, every once in a while, I lose power.
Mm-hmm. And I have AT&T coaxial internet, so...
Thankfully, we got fiber optic installed last summer.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that was a process.
Yeah. Oh, dig up everything, huh? Well, they should have... they're doing the drone thing, where the drones are going to be able to carry the internet with them and spread it throughout the country. But there's a huge, cost to that. Oh well.
Well, I'll just say thanks for watching and sticking with us, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching.
Look forward to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's next up on our edited content.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, so you don't miss that. And then head over to our TikTok and check us out over there. We have bite-sized morsels of our edited videos, and they're pretty fun. We can add music to them. It's pretty fun to add music to those those talks.
Yeah, I love what you're doing with the shorts, Carl.
Oh, thank you.
It's good stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, Daryl's back.
He's like, "Why are you guys still streaming?"
How's UFC, Daryl? He left us to go watch the UFC show.
Yeah, WWE's having a pay-per-view event tonight as well, or had one in Puerto Rico.
Oh wow. That's one day we'll talk about the '90s wrestling movies that had wrestlers in them.
I don't even. You know what's funny? I was into wrestling when I was a little kid, but some of them are what Hogan one is actually hard to find.
Which one?
No Holds Barred, I think, the one where introduced Zeus.
Huh. Oh, that's actually like an actual wrestling movie.
Yeah, that's like when, before The Rock went over and started doing action movies. It was Hogan trying to do that.
Yeah, I remember all the kids movies Hogan made.
Yeah, it's actually it's been out of print forever. I mean, okay, the prices on eBay aren't too bad. I mean, nobody's really probably clamoring and tripping over themselves to get a copy of this picture, but...
Yeah, you ask most people today, who is Hulk Hogan,
It's funny how that works, because if you, in the late 80s, Hulk Hogan was the shit.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Suburban Commando with Christopher Lloyd. I watched that VHS on repeat. For me. I remember renting it and just watching it over and over and over.
Back when you had stars who could just make movies, and that was it.
I just remember the line. It was even on the trailer. He's like, he gets into a fight with these local think it's the Undertaker, but it's like, do you have any idea what we're gonna do to you? And Hulk Hogan goes into this whole long-winded answer about, you're gonna kick my ass and drag me from a car or whatever. And he's like, what are you, nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
All right. Well, on that, I think we will end the stream.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody.
Once again, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Dun dun dun.